All right, so we are going to be working on the Wall of Fame. And the Wall of Fame is as simple as you're going to post 3 topics and your peers are going to respond to it. And then you're going to come up with an actual research topic. So, all right, it sounds simple, which it is, but there's a caveat to that because there's a very specific type of question that I am looking for. And the question cannot be something that I can easily Google, okay? I'll get into that in just a little bit. You might, first of all, go, can you just give me a topic so I can research it? Because I don't want to think. I get it. We're at that time of the semester where we're a little burnout. But what I have planned for you is to give you the option to research something that you might be interested in. And you're like, I don't even know where to start. That's okay. That's why I'm here. So, first, what I'd like you to do before you do anything else is I want you to go back to the lecture for the Wall of Fame run through. So you can pause me and then go back and make sure you read the entire thing. Yes, it is long. I do that for a reason so you have all the information you need. I will try and make this particular video as short and sweet, we know how that goes, as I possibly can. So, that being the case, let's start first. How do you decide the topic? I know that oftentimes we're like, I don't even know where to start. So let's go here first. There's going to be a handful of things I need you to do, and this is going to help you, I promise. So number 1, I want you to write down 3 things that you're interested in. This is all for you. This is going to be on a little sketch piece of paper, whatever. You're just going to write down 3 things you're interested in. It could be football, it could be baking, it could be art, it could be social media. I don't care. This is you. This is your little scratch piece of paper. Write down 3 things that you're interested in. There, you got that. Now, I want you to write 3 things that make you angry or upset. That could be anything. That could be, your neighbor smoking underneath your window. And you can smell it coming into the apartment. Can you tell that's something that I'm dealing with right now? Anyway, so maybe that's something. Maybe it's you go to the park and you see, especially now, we're in a time where the parks are all closed, you can see there's trash everywhere. And you're like, somebody please help pick this up. Like, why do people leave their garbage everywhere? Maybe that's something that upsets you. So think of any 3 things that upset you. It could be as simple as the fact that you have to do this. That's okay. That could be one of your things. But 3 things that upset you or make you angry in some way. Something where you're like, I can't handle this. All right, done. So now you technically have 6 things to work with, okay? Now, from the first list of all the things that you like and you're interested in, what I want you to try and think of those 3 things is ask yourself, maybe something that needs answering with those interests. Okay, so say football is your thing. Maybe you chose sports and you're going to narrow it down to football. And maybe for you, for football, you're like, look, I love going to football games. I love going to the stadiums. It makes me feel alive. But I hate knowing how terrible it is for the environment. How can we make stadiums more sustainable? There you go, right? I don't know, something along those lines, because the ultimate goal of the research topic is a social problem you want to find an answer to, right? There's a social issue, there's an issue that affects all peoples in some way, or most peoples in some way, and you want to find an answer to that. That's your goal here. Maybe it's something that interests you and you want to figure out how you can, make that interest into something where we can help society. That's our goal here. All right. Or you can go with your list number 2. And in that list number 2 of all the things that upset you and make you angry, you need to ask yourself, how can I address that? If we're thinking about the parks, you go down to the parks and they're a mess and you're like, how do we make a solution to those who litter? Like, what is the solution? I don't know. You can tell me. There's probably laws and people and stuff. There's got to be something more that you can do. Or maybe you do some research and find maybe there is no answer. I don't know. We don't know because we're just now starting out. We are going to do some research on it, but you're curious. What's something that you want to find an answer to? That is our ultimate goal. It helps if it's something you either like or are passionate about. And usually anger is an instigator for us to do something, right? Like if we're comfortable and we're happy, most likely we're not going to try and do things to change that. But if we're uncomfortable or angry, we're more likely to find a solution to said problem. So that's why we pick anger instead of that. But also maybe something that interests you. But what about that thing that interests you? Maybe there's something that needs help. Okay, so those are the things we want to think about for our topic ideas. I hope that helped you. Now, you have a whole bunch of ideas. You're feeling a little overwhelmed. Let me help you narrow it down even more. So, the question needs to be something bigger than something I can Google. Okay? A Googleable question, we're going to go back to, say your interest is football. Say your interest is trying to figure out what's sustainable, how can we be more sustainable for the stadiums? Maybe you're like, I'm just going to research, or no, my question is going to be, how can we make stadiums more sustainable? The problem is, if that's your question, I can Google that. I can Google that and see what's already in place. You're going to have to break it into something bigger. And I'm not quite sure how we would do that just yet. Off the top of my head, it would take me some time to think about that. But that's your goal, right? Your goal is to find something that I cannot Google. So if stadium, what do you call it? If stadium sustainability is going to be your question, then what you're going to want to do is try and figure out what things are already in place, what's working and what's not. How do we fix what's not working in stadium sustainability? Maybe it's there's too many cars, there's not enough, transportation. How would you fix that? Like looking into something like that. So if your big question is, how do we, help the sustainability, or what is the sustainability of stadiums? That's too easy for me to Google. Your bigger question needs to be stadium sustainability. What is working and what isn't, and how do we fix it? Right? Like at this point now, what part of it will be in there is actually what is, how do we make, stadium sustainable? That could be a question within your bigger question, but your bigger question is not just how do we make it sustainable? How are they sustainable? What's working and what's not gives you more opportunity for answers to the problem. And the problem is the lack of sustainability. What are we going to do to fix it? We're also going to mention what does work, but we're going to mention what doesn't work. And that is what's making your question bigger. All right, so hopefully that helps you. Also, I have a ring light and it's making the circle. It's making me dizzy. So if I'm pausing for a second, it's because I have vestibular issues and I'm a little dizzy. So, and I keep staring at my screen and it's making a circle. So I'm gonna try and make this fast so that I can just go home or go lay down. Okay. In that statement that I just said about the Googleable answers, yes, there are bad questions. And again, a bad question is something that I can Google. A bad question is something that you want to ask when you're at the bar with your friends. You're like, dude, do hummingbirds have feet? And you're like, I don't know, let's call up, a bird guy and figure it out. Yes, that's a meme, I know. But if your question is as simple as you can Google the answer, it's not the right question. You're going to need something bigger. So if you're going to have a question like, is marijuana legal in California? Or why is it legal? Or do hummingbird have feet? Or is a keto diet? Like stuff that I can Google the answer to, that's not what I want. I need something bigger. Those are small questions that you could probably use within your paper, right? Like say, I don't know. There's ways we could use those, but I use those. They're questions I don't want to see. That's why I put them there. They're going to be a little harder for me to kind of make into something bigger off the cuff, right? That being the case, aside from the quote unquote bad questions, I hate to say that, yes, there are going to be some bad questions here because they're not big enough topic questions that we're going to be looking for, but there are good topic questions. And so the good kind of question is going to be much bigger. Again, it's like Sustainability in stadiums, what's working and what isn't, and how do we fix it, right? We're trying to find a solution to something bigger. You shouldn't be able to just throw it in a quick Google search and go, oh, that was easy, I'm gonna write my paper on that. Nosies. We're not going to do that. And you'll see, I promise you, at first you're like, you're going to be mad, but I promise you that once you understand why have you asked this question, everything else will fall into place and you're like, oh, I get it. So trust the process. Okay. All right. So some of the bigger questions that I would like you to look at are listed here. We have, how can Western medicine and holistic medicine unite, right? So we're not just saying, does holistic medicine work? Does Western medicine work? We're recognizing parts of them do work. We just kind of know that. How can we put these two parts together to make them actually work together, right? That's the bigger question. So you see how a small question can be bigger. What you are going to be doing is you're going to be posting your question to me later after you go through the Wall of Fame, and I'll guide you. The reason why we do what we do with the Wall of Fame is so that you can get feedback, so that it'll help you get a better idea of what you could do research on. I promise you there is a method to my madness. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at some of the other examples of research questions. They're big and they might seem overwhelming, but don't panic. You're going to have plenty of peers to help you out, and you're going to have me. Okay, so start thinking of 3 things you're interested in, 3 things you hate, and how can you make a bigger question out of it, okay, based on what you're seeing here. Go back and read, do the reading of the lecture notes. I don't need to go reread them all the way through for you, but you do need to go through and pay attention to those. Something that will help you is there's a link on how to brainstorm ideas right underneath the big question, box. Click that. Just kind of like try stuff. You're not going to know it right off the bat. This is not something you can be like, oh, there's my question. It's going to take time and it's going to take some deep thinking. That's the point. We are critically thinking here. So I really want you to delve into that. Please do not Google what is a research question. Every time y'all do that, it is the stupidest research. I'm like, you don't want to research that. I know you don't. You're doing it because you can't think of something. How do I know? I've been a student. I have 2 masters. I've done all of the things and all of the tricks. I'm trying to save you from that. I'll call you out and I'm like, you don't want to do that. Trust me. Trust me. Try and find something that, even if it feels massive, I promise you, we will be doing so much work on it that you won't even realize what you've done, because we're going to take it one bite at a time. That's going to be next week. We do little pieces to make something big not feel so big. So don't feel too overwhelmed. You just need some question, and I'm going to guide you all the way through. Okay? I know this isn't meant to be a pep. I didn't mean for it to be a pep speech, but it is. Okay? So the final project, you're going to see a link there. What I want you to do is to create something, right? When we do research, our goal for research is to create something that we can share with the world. That's the goal here. This is why when we did the narrative, I wanted you to get comfortable in creating something in some way. For this, you're going to be doing an actual, like a presentation of your final paper, right? So you're going to present your findings to us. That's the goal here. But in order to do that, we got to find a question we need an answer to, okay? You can take a look at the final project to kind of give you an idea of what your ultimate goal is. But if you're like me, sometimes I just need the parts first and then I can put it all together. I am a puzzle person. I love puzzles. Give me the pieces, tell me what I need to put together, and then we can do it. That's what we're doing here. Okay, go ahead and look at the readings. Okay, I'm going to give you a lot of feedback on it. In fact, you get stuck on the research. If you don't give me the research topic, you can't finish class. So it kind of forces you to think of something. So that's why we make this particular thing so big. Now, the Wall of Fame is going to seem a little confusing, but I promise you it's not. Okay? Again, take a look at the lecture notes. You need to post by Friday. I need you to post by Friday, because what's going to happen is your peers are going to have to respond to every single person and student in class. You are going to have to respond to every student in class. Don't panic. It's not that bad. It's actually ends up being fun because you see a lot of topic ideas and you're like, oh, maybe I want to do that. That's the goal. We're sharing ideas, okay? So for the Wall of Fame, all you need are 3 topic questions. The full question, you just need 3. You thought of 6, you're breaking it down, you're trying to figure it out. Come up with 3 ideas. It's okay if you're not quite sure because you're going to have your peers to help guide you, okay? Now, recall that first part where you thought about your 3 interests and the 3 things that upset you. What questions did you come up with? And try and figure out again how you can make it bigger and not something that's super easy to Google and answer to, okay? Later, you're going to pick only one of these 3 topics, but for now, I want you to put 3, all right? 3 different topic questions. I need it to be a question because if you just put like immigration, that doesn't mean anything to anyone. They're like, that is a word, not a question. What is it you're going to be doing with this? So you need to make a full question, okay? Or like, what is the, I can't even think of a question for that right now. Brainsies be burnsies right now. Okay. In the part where you go to post your 3 topic ideas, I have a template that's on the lecture notes that I want you to take a look at. What you're going to do is you're going to have 3 topics. You're going to have topic 1 question, topic 2 question, and a topic 3 question. After each one of the topic questions, I want you to put 1A, 1B, and or 1A, 1B, and 1C. And I'll explain why. Follow the template, and I'll follow up with why you do that. Okay? So you have your 3 topics, topic 1, your topic 2, and your topic 3. And then in parentheses, you're going to have 1A, 1B, and 1C. The reason why I do this is when your students go to respond, or students, when your peers go to respond to your topic, I only want 3 comments per topic. So if there's topic 1, a student will respond 1A, meaning 1 has already been answered. One person has already responded to your first topic. Say someone says 1B, that means 2 people have responded to your first topic. If someone writes 1C, all of that topic 1 has been accounted for. I don't want more than 3 comments per topic. God, I hope this is coming off right. I only want you to respond once to one peer. Once to your peer, right? So in other words, I don't want you to go to one of your peers and respond to all 3 topics. Don't do that. If you're going to go to Peter, you go to Peter and you respond to one topic and then you move on to Sarah. And then you respond to one topic of Sarah and then you move on. Okay, so the reason why I have it labeled A, B, and C is because I only want 3 different responses to that one topic. So you go to Peter's page or topic and you go, well, it looks like 3 people have already responded to topic 1. Oh, it looks like only 1 person has responded to topic 2, because you'll see someone has, they see the topic and they do 2A. You're like, well, I'll do 2B. I'll be the second person who, responds to him. Or say all the first 2 topics, everything's been taken, and now you see topic 3. You're like, well, I can respond to topic 3. It looks like 2 other people have responded. Okay, I'll respond to it. Topic 3, so 3B. Take a look at the template. That'll help you. The whole reason why I do this, and I know it seems a little complicated, or maybe you're a math brain and you're like, oh, thank God, organization. The goal here is to make sure that you have enough feedback on all 3 of your topics. So each one of your topics should have at least 3 different comments on it. You might find, as you're going through, that some of these topics have already been picked through and there's like, everyone's already responded. It's okay if you do like 3, D or whatever, like if you have to add another one, that's okay. But only if all of the topics have already been responded to, because you don't want people just to respond to one of your topics, but you have others that you're kind of interested in and you want more feedback on that. Okay, so I'm hoping that this makes sense. When you are responding to your peers, you will respond to everybody once. Okay, you're going to respond to all of your peers, but only once and only on one topic. Okay, It seems like a lot. So what I used to do is I used to have a form that students would go and they'd put on the wall, and we would walk around the room and we would write on, you know, the piece of paper. And the way it was set up was everyone had to like include something. So what I'm trying to do here online is what we would have normally done in class. Works really well in class, and actually online works pretty well too. It's it's different. The cool thing, though, I would say about online is it gives you more time to respond and include links to help guide your peers. Okay? So, we now know that when we are doing peer responses, as we've done throughout the whole entire semester, I keep probably driving you nuts. I'm like, respond to your peers, respond to your peers, because I need you to be comfortable in interacting and having authority. That you should have authority in this class because you're in the class, so you know what you're doing, so you can give feedback. So when you're giving feedback to your peers, again, all your peers, but only one topic, okay? Only one. And when you do that, what I want you to do is give thorough feedback. Do not write, I like this idea. Nosies. Don't do that. That's not what I want. I want you to give feedback, not compliments. There's a big difference, okay? Your feedback can be more questions about the topic, or suggestions, or links, because you're maybe enthusiastic about this topic yourself, right? Give as much as you can, because what you're going to want from your peers is actual feedback, not, you know, acclimates, not like, hey man, that's good. That's not helpful. What's helpful is actual constructive feedback in some way. The support, the help, the guidance, the questions, do that. Okay? So, or don't put, I hate this idea. Don't do that either. That's not what we're here for. I don't want your opinions, right? Just like an asshole, everybody's got one, they all stink. We don't need to worry about that. Okay? You can do that on your social media. Here, we are in academia, and we are going to be giving our academic feedback and our experiences. Remember when we talked about experiences? See, yo, I'm telling you, it all comes together. It all comes together. Anyway, so go ahead and read the lecture notes. That's going to probably help you maybe a little bit more than what I did here. But that being the case, what I want you to do is I'm going to double check, make sure I answered all the give you the answers to the questions. I got to remember what I got. So for the questions, you already know you need to respond to all of your peers. And then how many topics do you need to respond to per peer? How many? I don't know. You tell me. I've said it many a time. All right. Go ahead and, just so you know that your topic is going to be due on Friday. You turn your topic in on Friday, but you've got to get back to your peers by Sunday. I know that's crazy. I know that's a lot. But you got it. This is one of those, like, it's one of those, it's just one of those things. That's what I'm asking you to do. All right. So please go through, give thorough feedback. You're going to be like, oh, there's not that many students who posted. I'm like, I know, it's not going to be as hard as you think. Okay. So go ahead and respond to everyone by Sunday. This is why it's important that you turn yours in by Friday, so that when your peers come back to you, they can respond to you by Sunday. And the reason why I say this is because on Tuesday, you got to give me your research topic so I can guide you through. Okay? So there's we kind of hit it a little bit hard because we just want to get to the part, we don't need to spend that much time. You'll see why. Okay? Again, do not want a topic I can Google easily. This needs to be a big question that has layers. All right? And the layers are the parts where you're going to research. What do you know? It was coming. All right? You already take a look at the questions that I have there that are Googleable answers that I don't want, and then the bigger questions that I do want. Okay. All right. Anywho, I think that's pretty much it for here. I think that's all I've got. So please take a look at that. Make sure you message me if you have questions. I am here. I promise you I'm always here. Sometimes it takes me maybe a little longer than I'd like to get back to you, but I do my absolute best. So try not to wait till the last minute on this. And if you're having any issues, please, I am here. We'll do my best. And that's it. Yay. All right. Less than an hour. We did good.